Good afternoon everyone and welcome to the start of pastry week here. Right, today I'm going to show you how to make your own gluten-free, plain or all-purpose flour. I've been doing this now for about 2 years. Sometimes I do have the brand ones, not very often, but if I'm feeling a bit and I have to make it, it's easier sometimes to grab one. But then I only use certain brands. I don't very often use the cheaper brands, and there's a reason for that. I'm not a flour snob. I find with a lot of them, what they use is too much rice flour, and that's why people buy it. They try and bake with it, and they have varying results, and they don't do it again. Sometimes they strike lucky, but no gluten-free flour is the same. Every single brand is different. So at least if you make your own, you know you're getting a consistent flour. It's the same every time, so that is good. Right, I'm going to run through the recipes. I will put the recipe up on the blog, and I will also add the recipe to Facebook. So no excuses. I want to see you all making your own flour. Right, let's run through the recipes. The first one is potato starch, or tapioca starch. Now, tapioca starch and tapioca flour are roughly about the same thing. So either one will actually do for this recipe. The next one is, we have potato flour. Now in this recipe we use both potato flour and potato starch. They are very two different things, so you do need both of them. Right, another one is, I buy a fine ground brown rice flour. If you don't have a fine ground one, or you buy one, it's a little bit sieve, and sieve. I know it's a pain, but you want it super fine. When it comes to baking something like pastry, cake's not so bad, but pastry, you do want it super fine. Right. The old xanthan gum. We all know why we need it. It stops things falling apart. So it says. We also need rice flour. This is your ordinary fine ground rice flour. I like to use that. A lot of people just use that. They don't add anything else to that. They're just the white flour. But I like to mix it up a little bit. And I like to add, sorry, my hand's not that great, sweet rice flour. Now, I'd never heard of this before I did gluten-free baking. But I looked for it, got it on Amazon because someone gave me a tip. So now I make it I add a little bit of that. So I add 2/3 of that and a little bit to make up with that. Okay, so you don't have to. You can use all white rice flour. It will still be good. It won't be a bad pastry or a bad flour, but that's the way I like to do it. And the weird one in the group, we have pectin powder. Now, you don't have to add this. The reason I add it, it is a stabilizer. And when I am baking a lot and quite consistently, and I'm baking, for the blog, it does make a difference when you use it. It does stabilize your bake. It makes it, it holds it together, doesn't alter the taste at all. But I do like to add that one. There's a lot of people online that do the same as me that will add this to their flour. I like to add that. Right, what you do is when you have all your flours together, you sieve them separately into a bowl. Do not pass this one. You have to sieve. So get yourself a fine sieve and sieve them through. And then what I do again, once they're all sieved into a bowl, I sieve them again. This really does make a difference. You do not want like clumps of rice flour or a clump of brown flour. You don't want that in your bake. You want it to be all well mixed together, and it's really worth doing that. And that's it. All right, it's a bit of kerfuffle. It's easier to go bang on a shelf. But to be honest, this is lovely, and it gives you such a self-accomplishment. You've made your own flour. Well done. Here I have made 420 grams of this wonderful gluten-free plain flour. I mean, it's nice to touch. It's fine. What I will do is we will run through, I keep touching this and it wobbles. I will run through the pastry. We will make pastry on the next video. I have to get the videos quite short because of it's not good for me. But there you go. I will make sure you all have the recipe, but you got to follow, you got to bake it. It'd be nice to see someone else have a go, and I would love to see your recipes when they're done. I would like to take this opportunity to say thank you to everyone that supports me. I've been doing the blog for a long time, but I never wanted to do a video. I'm quite shy by nature, and having the disabilities as well, I was afraid to do it. I know there'll be trolls, there's trolls on everything. But I decided I had to put myself forward in doing it. So I'm going to, obviously, when I go along, I'll be able, I'll start improve, hopefully. But thank you. I've met so many wonderful people and so wonderful messages doing this. My new stool has arrived. I couldn't use it today because it's in a big box, which I can't lift, and it has to be put together, which is not a job for me. I've had to buy a few little bits and pieces to enable me to do this because it has to work when I'm in a wheelchair or in a stool. So we've got some things to hold the camera. What I'm waiting for, what I really would like now, will save up for, is a speech type thing. That way I can put more recipes on the blog a lot quicker. Mainly when I'm slow is because I'm having a bad day with the arthritis in my hands. But hopefully I'll have that soon, and there'll be recipes coming up a lot faster. I have books and books of recipes. I have books in different rooms where I get ideas and think, oh, write it down. I get terrible ones in the middle of the night. I sort of wake up in the middle of the night and think, oh, would that work? Write it down. So I have a book everywhere. Apart from the toilet. I don't tend to write recipes in the toilet. But there you go. Apart from that. But I do appreciate all the help and all the support. And if you've got any questions, please ask. Ask if you're anything you want to know, or if it's anything you want to see baked this week that contains pastry. I don't make my own puff pastry. I don't have the hands to do it now. And it is so good, the puff pastry we buy now. When they introduced the vegan and gluten-free puff pastry, oh my God, it was heaven. So I will not make that. So I will make rough puff, I will make plain, and I will make sweet plain. But that is what I do. I have tried choux pastry, so I will talk you through that one as well. And stick with me. You'll learn a lot of new things, and I hope to show you another nice gluten-free recipes this week, and vegan. I have a lot of vegan bakes, and next it'll be Christmas, and I've got loads of ideas for Christmas. I'm covered in flour, I think. But again, I would like to say thank you, and the next video will be making pastry. Bye.